scared. Okay, welcome to Jotunheim Whispers. That's a podcast that is created by frostjotun, who happens to be me. I am a composer, a musician, an artist, and many other things. I stream on Twitch, on frostjotun Live, and um, I am chronically ill. But that's not the topic of our episode today. So, I am scared all the time. And what am I scared of? Well, it's a really, really tough thing to think about. So, growing up, it is such an interesting process because I feel like many people would understand what I'm saying here, but when you are a child, you kind of want to grow up quicker. Maybe so that you would be free of school and stuff like that, or maybe so you would be perceived more seriously. I think those are the main reasons for that, but everyone is different, so I'm not speaking on behalf of the universe here. And then I feel like um maybe people in their 20s are still trying to be grown up more, and then people start regretting thinking like that, and they want to go back. So I am someone who, since they were a child, they were told that they are an adult already. Unfortunately, that happened because the main person who was raising me, who is dead now, um she wanted me to be her slave, and in order for her to do that, she would need to make me think that I am capable of doing all the work while she rests. And so I think that was one of the reasons for her to manipulate me like that into thinking that I am a grown up. I literally remember my 10th birthday and her like talking to me in the morning saying like, "Oh, okay, you are a decade old, which means you are basically an adult." And it wasn't a joke like you would think. It was quite serious because I've been told that like even before that. So, I guess I was trying to be a good kid, so I was behaving like an adult, not in the terms that I was I don't know, drinking or smoking and stuff, but I just was so aware of myself, of how I am perceived, and of my responsibilities, that I would be always thinking about how to make things right. And it's really weird, to now see that I did not technically have a childhood, since I was working all the time. Um, and so when I became like 18, I think, it became, it grew into another type of mindset, into thinking that, I'm a baby. And for years now, I say that, I'm just a baby. And I do feel like I am about 2 to 3 years old. And I just want to be perceived as someone who is just purely innocent, which in most senses, or all of them, I guess I am. Um, yeah, so like I am still responsible. I still work so much, but at the same time, I have this need for people to know that I am a baby, and you cannot yell at me, and you cannot demand too much from me, and also I am always scared of people and stuff like that, so please just be kinder to me. But it's also painful to realize that that is probably because I did not experience what children usually experience. um and it's really sad at that point, because i I'm not sure that it will be healed at some point, and honestly I don't want to heal that. I want to stay in that state of mind, and it is fine by me, to be honest. But still, um not every day, but quite often I do think about the time flying by, and me becoming a little older with each second. And I am not afraid of death, right? But I am afraid of being perceived as an adult. And obviously, with each day, I am coming closer and closer to that. And I really don't. Oh, sorry. Something just. There was a weird sound on the street. I thought it was an explosion, but it was a bus of some sorts. Oh, okay. So, yes, I mean, time passes, and I get more experiences in life. Um, like, obviously, I would be always considered childlike in the way that I've never had a relationship, and I'm not planning to. That had never been like an interest of mine. So I guess at that point I am a little safe, but still I don't know what to do about that. Like this fear of each birthday, you know, I am aware that I am young, but I want to be even younger, and it's so scary all the time that honestly. So it seems weird for me when I see people my age or younger who are trying to be seen as adults, because it's like, well, why do you want to do that? Really, like, think about that. Now you are young, you have your face intact, you have some energy if you're not chronically ill. Um, why not enjoy that? Why do you have to, try to change yourself just for the cause of it, You're basically wasting and losing your time by trying to submerge into this older persona that you will eventually just become later. That's weird for me. Why do you want to manipulate time so hard? Just catch the moment, please. Just live your life for a second. Experience this this moment right now of you being this age, because then you see so many like middle-aged people that are saying, oh, I did not even notice my life just going away from me, and now I am this old, and um yeah, I don't even remember what happened when I was younger. I should have appreciated that more. And I guess I am also wasting my time by being scared. But it also motivates me to create art, so that is even more important for me. And I guess my jotuns that I draw are also childlike, although they are, you know, frost giants, and you would think that they are kind of scary and big and things like that. And I always like say that they are very ancient, um but still I feel like I draw them like with childlike souls, so they are full of hope and some lightness, and um yeah. So at least the sphere of mine is coming into my art, and it's giving me a push to sing, even because I have created some songs about wanting to be small. And uh sometimes I see videos on TikTok of little kitties, right, that are crying, and I immediately save them, and then I show them to my mom, and she's like, "Oh, that's you, that's my child." And I'm like, "Yay, I'm a baby. I'm a baby." Meow. So if they show Very Important People by Dropout, there was an interview with Lisa Gilroy, who is a very, very funny person. And so she created this character for that interview called Spencer, that is kind of a demon of like who is a child of Satan, but his body is like furry and yellow, and it's all in purple patches, and it has horns and funny teeth. And Spencer says, I don't know, just a baby." And the moment I saw that interview, I was like, "Oh, now that's how I'm gonna talk forever." So yeah, yeah, I'm just a baby. I don't know. Uh, Thank you. I don't know. He's paying me. Yeah, I love that character. I love that interview. Um, it brings so much comfort to me. And um, well, I also remember me being so ashamed of any interests I would have as a child. So I have talked about my childhood a little before, and it consisted it included some difficult things I had to remember, which were hurting me. And so I described there that I was always studying, and it was really tough because we would study from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and then an hour to go home, and then to practice, and do the musical homework and the regular one. Why am I saying this? What? um oh yeah. And so there was a time when we were, I think, about 11 and 12-year old, um that like most of us were interested in Monster High. And well, there was a rich person kid studying with me, and there were us, like me and my other friend, that we didn't have, well, our parents didn't have the money for that. So for us, each doll was so important. And yeah, we would talk about them all the time. We would watch the cartoon, and we would be jealous of that other friend of ours that was rich. That once on Saint Nicholas Day, I remember, we came to school, and like we got very like cheap gifts, like once I got a Kinder Surprise and a toy bug. For some reason, it was kind of painful for me, to be honest, because it was in a really big like bag, so I thought I was getting a big gift, and that's what was in there. So I was a little bit upset, but I did not say anything. And that day, our classmate came in with 4 Monster High dolls, and we were like, ah. So, should we jump out of the window right now or what? Like, yeah, we were so jealous. I cannot even describe it. And honestly, I still am. Like, if my mom wasn't forced to sell them because, we always struggled with money, like, I would still love to have them here. I love them so much. And I wished to have Torelai. I still remember the name. So that was a cat um, student, right? Who was kind of a negative character. But my neighbor, um, who was like 3 years younger than me, she had this doll. And I was like, man, I want it so bad. And then, if you know Monster High, that character hang out with two other cats that were like twins, and I wanted them as well. And I dreamt about them so much, but I never got them. So yeah, it's kind of sad right now. But what am I like, trying to tell you? When I was 12, um, the grandma from my father's side came to visit. And let me just say something. So, my father abandoned me when I wasn't born. So, technically, he abandoned my mom when she got pregnant. They weren't married or anything, so I never had a father. And we met when I was 7, just because of, like, I don't want to explain that, but it wasn't by his desire or choice or anything like that. And so, yeah, and that was his mother who never cared about me and stuff like that. And so I'm 12. We saw each other um, like once a couple years after that, and we haven't communicated at this point for about, I don't even know, like 4 or 5 years, something like that. And so she came over, and maybe I was watching a Monster High cartoon, or I don't know. I guess my Monster High dolls were on display somewhere, and she sat next to me and she was like, "Aren't you too old to be playing with dolls like that? Don't you think it's weird?" And I remember being so just humiliated at that point, because again, as a kid, I was aware of everything, so you couldn't just gaslight me into something. I knew what was right. I guess because I am autistic, so I have this radar of justice and, objectivity in me. So I knew that that should have been normal for me to be 12 and, to collect dolls. Again, we weren't technically playing with them, it's a collection, it's a different thing. um but she didn't get that, and you know unfortunately the people in my household were of the same opinion. And the grandma that is the monster that lived with us, she like didn't even let me read Harry Potter. So I only had 4 books that were all like old. So I was given them, like it wasn't like anyone bought them for me. And at one point she just gave them away to another kid who was my age, so that wasn't weird for her. And then she said like, well, you gave me the permission. And I was like, I didn't. Why the hell would I give you the permission to, give away my favorite books that I read all over again? Because, there was this child who is the main character who was abused their whole childhood, who lived like a slave at their house. Um yeah, right. I would just let you give them out. That's incredible. So nothing came of it, obviously. So I knew the truth, but they still tried to push it that, I allowed them to do so. And, so I knew that I I should have been allowed to have some dolls. And so that's where the growing up aspect really comes in. Because, when you are like 8, suddenly adults start saying, "Why are you watching SpongeBob? Like, you're too old for this." And so here's the thing: if you are an adult who thinks like this, um, if you push a child into, trying to be an adult all the time, they will grow up to be like me. So they will become a little baby with the childish like interests. And thank God now it is normalized for adults to, collect some things, to have toys or dolls or whatever. Like, it's trendy now. But, like 10 years ago, it wasn't like this. And it's just crazy. It's crazy to think that all of those grown ups were saying things like this. And yeah, it kind of screwed my mindset up. And so since I was 13, I was already, planning to move out. I was looking up like apartments and stuff. So it is just so weird and insane to me. So it's so sad to think about, to be honest. You know, let's just all become children once again. Let's just experience this world, this universe in this, ease and lightness. Let's just be empathetic towards each other. Let's just stop all of this pushing and tenseness and all of those things. Please, I am begging you. Like, now I feel guilty for having a Funko Pop collection. Well, I'm selling it out because, um, I need money, but I do feel guilty that as a 19-year-old, as a 20-year-old, I was spending money on those figurines instead of saving up. Jesus Christ, I already don't buy anything for myself. Come on. Can I not enjoy anything I love? So yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to talk about. Um, I am sad now. So I am sorry if you became sad as well. But here is the thing. If you are, subscribed to my Twitch channel, or if you just follow me somewhere, you can be yourself. And if you want to be childlike like me, I will support you, so, we can have each other in the world where, no one has our back. So thank you for listening to Jotunheim Whispers. That was me, frostjotun, talking about being a little baby. So have a great, great, great evening, have a great weekend, and well, I wish everything that is great upon you. Bye 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 bye.